Oh, hey, there you are. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, 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 hey. Good morning, y'all. How are you all? Oh, no, we don't want that. You know, good morning. I hope and I pray that all is well with you and yours. Oh, this coffee is extra good. Mm, mm. So, I'm here yet again on another morning, early morning. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Vovo. Hey, Shakira. Hey, Nicole Stevens. Hey, everybody. Mm. I know Really B is somewhere in the bushes. If y'all see her, tell her I said she's the reason that I'm doing these early morning lives because I'm being petty. She'll thank me later. You're welcome, Really B. I'm doing these early morning lives for you because I'm being petty. You know why, Really B. Do I need to explain this to you? We'll talk about it later. This coffee is good right now. We'll see if it becomes extra good. Right now, it's real good. Mm, mm. We'll see how good it becomes. I ain't gonna be on here long, we're just gonna do a little, maybe 30, 45 minutes and get on out here and get on out chill. So, um, let me close all this stuff from last night. All right. So, y'all, interesting things going on this morning. So, those of us, they're gonna really be there. There she go, girl. I'm doing these early morning lives for you, being petty. I think you know why. Cause I'm petty. I am petty. Petty. I'm petty. But I love you, girl. I love you. Anyway, so where to start? I am gonna do. I am petty, really. I'm so petty, but it's fine. Let me start here before I start to spike out with my sugar spikes. We're gonna start off with the news of the morning. Top of the news early this morning. We found out that last night, your boy Dave Chappelle was tackled to the ground by an audience member at his show. Let me read this for y'all. I've seen the video, multiple angles. So, um, comedian Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage at the Hollywood Bowl Tuesday night by a man who tackled him during his performance. Footage from Air 7 HD captured the apparent attacker on a gurney and being loaded into an ambulance to be taken to a hospital. Witnesses at the show took to social media saying the man rushed the stage and tackled Chappelle. The suspect was then subdued by security. Los Angeles police confirmed to Eyewitness News that they responded to an incident at the Hollywood Bowl around 10:45 p.m. last night, which would have been around 1:45 a.m. Eastern, and a man who was reportedly armed with a gun and knife was taken into custody. It appears Chappelle was uninjured from the attack, and the video posted to social media showed him continuing the show. Here's where it gets a little muddy and cloudy. Adjust my hat as it's going to get a little murky. Here we go. Because it could never be that easy, right? We could never report on things that'd be that easy, right? I don't know where my hat just seems off today. Whatever, just put it to the side. No, I don't like that either. Y'all see what we deal with coming on. Anyway, Dave Chappelle has reacted to his old high school. Wait, no, that's not what I want. Well, let me just tell you what I know. Hey, Fran J. So during this broadcast, not broadcast, during this performance, after he was tackled to the ground, okay, Dave Chappelle thought it not robbery enough to then yell, that must have been a trans man. And now I have looked at several blogs that are questioning whether or not it was or was not a trans man. Let me start by saying I think it is horrible and awful that Dave Chappelle was attacked. I don't think anybody should be concerned about being attacked at their workplace. Don't think that there's assault on comedians now that the fact that it has become open season on comedians now. I don't think that that's a good thing at all. I think it's horrible. I think it's deplorable, and nobody should be attacking anyone. Nobody should ever put their hands on anyone for any reason whatsoever. However, Dave Chappelle, I understand that that was your attempt because when I watched I watched it in real time. Well, I shouldn't say in real time, but I watched the clip of the attack and then him saying that after the attack. I saw one of the clips I saw had that whole thing. Whether Let me start by saying the fact that I have to even say we don't have any evidence that it is a trans man baffles my mind. But when you watch the clip, you could tell it was being said for comedic purposes, and that's dangerous. Potentially as dangerous as the attack that was put on you. Reckless and dangerous, Dave Chappelle. I'll give you a perfect example on why you cannot do things like that. If we had a white comedian that had a history of making racist comments and making discriminatory jokes about black people, and then one day um, someone who, even if they were black, attacked him, and he continued his stand-up set saying, "See what I mean? I was attacked by another black man. What do you expect? It's one of the blacks." Black people would be upset and angry because you can't paint all black people with that broad stroke of being represented by this one idiot and a-hole. And at this point, we have no evidence of whether or not this person is a trans man or not. But what I'm saying is, Dave Chappelle, that was not the time for you to try and mix in that joke, because that's the problem that we've been having from the very beginning. You do not seem to understand that you can't make whole groups of people the butt of your jokes when they tell you they do not like that, and when they tell you the strength and power of your words and what that does to that community, and how people are still being killed, people are still being ostracized, people are still being bullied, people are still being assaulted, because it's so easy for people to make jokes and make um, all types of nefarious comments and things like that, making it seem like it's okay for people to make fun of individuals who are trying to do nothing but live their lives. Hey Mimi, am I wrong in my thinking? Like, am I wrong in thinking, hey Sticks girl, that Dave Chappelle, I am not here for you being attacked. You should not be attacked at all, at all. But at the same time and in the same breath, Dave Chappelle, you can't then say, "Oh, that must have been a trans man," and just so you can get a joke out of it. Bad timing. It's the wrong answer, sir. Wrong answer. The wrong answer. I don't know. I, y'all let me know what y'all think. Am I wrong? Y'all let me know. Because in my thinking, by no stretch of the imagination is that okay. Do y'all want to hear where he said? I'll let y'all hear. I'm not going to show the video because it might take too long. No, this was after the person rushed the stage. I'm gonna hear it. Let you hear it. Um, hold on. I'm gonna let you hear it. I'll play the audio as I get it to come up. Yeah, this was after. Now, while this is coming up, please be clear. Security took care of it. If you look at the video of them taking the person away, his arm is like dangling, like it looks certainly broken because his arm is like all jacked up and looks to be fractured, broken, and all kinds of stuff. Um, yeah, his arm and hand looks pretty dislocated and whatnot. It was like pretty nasty looking. I mean, this is what happens to you when you jump up on stage, running at people. My question is, was the joke prior to him? It was after. It wasn't prior. It was after um, the person rushed the stage. Mm-mm. This was after. Um, wait, is this? I'm trying to see which video it is. Let me see. Oh no, it's not that one. I think it's this one. It was a trans man. It was after. I'm squeezing that nigga too. Niggas, I seen Busta Rhymes be on. It's like that's how you do it, dog. Let me play that again. If you didn't hear, hold on. It was a trans man. I'm there squeezing them nigga too. Niggas, I seen Busta Rhymes and all this like, that's how you do it, dog. And even the comment in reference to Busta Rhymes is even just as dangerous. If you know the history of Busta Rhymes and the assault that he had on a trans woman in Miami some years ago, that let's be clear, both things can be true. It can be horrible and awful that Dave Chappelle was attacked and nobody should be attacked on stage. Let's be clear. That is absolutely the truth. But nobody needs to be attacked on stage. Busta Rhymes should not have to worry about anybody running up on stage against him, regardless of whatever joke he tells. Nobody he should not have to worry about that. At the same point in time, Busta Rhymes, I still think it's dangerous for you to be making these comments. It goes back to the example I gave you earlier. If this was a white comedian who had a history of making racist and discriminatory jokes about a black person, and even if a black person went and attacked them, even though we don't have any knowledge whether or not this is a transgender man or not, but if he went on attacking that person and then referencing other people known for attacking black people, other white people known for attacking black people, there would be all types of hell to pay. People would be screaming from the rooftops, but I hear no screaming from the rooftops. So it'll be me. I'm just saying, Dave Chappelle, do better. Do better. I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. That's our first story of the day. Tracy, I did go and get some information. Tracy sent me a story, y'all. So I'm gonna read what I have. Excuse me. I purposely went to an outside source, meaning the source that I pulled this article from isn't a U.S. source. It's a source from overseas. Because sometimes I like to look at how other countries report on the shit we got going on over here, just to see how we're looked at by other countries. So this comes from across the pond. It says Jack Brewer files police report against MSNBC host Joy Reid over comments about black children being used at DeSantis photo op. Move, stupid thing. Can I tell y'all how annoying at this point ads are when you go to a blog? Like, they're just so annoying at this point. Former NFL player Jack Brewer is asking MSNBC host Joy Reid for an apology after he filed a police report against the cable news anchor last week over comments she made that criticized a group of black boys being pictured with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis during the signing of an anti-critical race theory bill. Where's the rest of the article? Dear God, I hope this isn't what I think it is. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on one minute. Hold on one moment. Hold on. All right. Sorry about that. Um, Here we are. Former NFL player Jack Brewer has threatened to no, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Here we go. MSNBC host Joy Reid may be hit with a loss has been hit with a lawsuit after she suggested a black former NFL star was perpetuating child abuse by letting his after-school club attend the signing of an anti-critical race theory bill in Florida. Jack Brewer has demanded Reid apologize for a remark she made on Twitter last week alleging the club's misuse of black boys in tantamount to child abuse, or else he will sue her for defamation. She had completely humiliated she has compu- she has completely humiliated my kids and my program, the former football player told the Washington Examiner. It's just so hurtful and she needs to be held accountable. She does it so often, and you know her words and the way she comes across to Black America leaves a stain on all of us. I won't put up with it when it comes to my kids. Brewer told the newspaper told the newspaper he plans to send Reed a letter requesting an apology, and if she fails to provide one within 24 hours, he will pursue legal action. His legal team is still finalizing details pertaining to the suit, including specifics regarding damages. um, Children from the Jack Brewer Foundation's after school club were photographed last Friday holding up signs in opposition to CRT as Governor Ron DeSantis signed Florida's Stop Woke Act into law. The legislation bars schools and private businesses from making students or employees feel guilt or any form of psychological stress because of their national origin, sex, or race. Reed retweeted the photograph, slamming Brewer's American Heroes program for allowing the children to attend the event. Quote, this misuse of black boys is tantamount to child abuse. I would really like to hear the backstory on who these kids were and how they wound up at a DeSantis event, given how anti black DeSantis is. Using black children this way is extra sick, she wrote. Brewer, who publicly opposes CRT, explained the mission of the Anti Heroes program is to promote Christian leadership among youth and offer academic mentorship. He also noted that parents with children enrolled in the program were provided resources that outline concerns surrounding CRT. Quote, I'm a vocal advocate against CRT. Anything that teaches kids anti Christ rhetoric and teaches kids to hate and to see each other based on the color of their skin. He said, I have students in my program who have gone to school and been told, just move out of the way. I hate these stupid ads. Who have been told that they can't accomplish something because of the color of their skin. Similarly, family members of children who attended the event argue that Reed displayed, quote, hate and resentment and bitterness toward people that she knows nothing about. Quote, I mean, she's painting these kids like they're just little black boys that don't know anything about anything and could be exploited, like they don't even have their own words. Halbritter, whose two nephews were in the photograph, told the Washington Examiner, quote, and I don't see her doing it with white kids. It goes on she goes on to add she doesn't know the love we have for these kids and to assume that we would send them into a situation that they were not equipped to deal with or understood in an age appropriate fashion. This just so monumentally this is that's just I'm sorry, I can't read. That's just so monumentally insulting, but it also put them at risk because now they're this poster child for this and kind of at the center of the storm. It's terrible. It's really a sad thing. Hal Britta said her nephews, ages 9 and 14, were invited to Friday's signing after having attended another DeSantis bill signing earlier this month. She claims In both instances, they were invited to the event due to their participation in the American Heroes program. Um, and it goes on and on. Here's the thing with that. This is interesting, very interesting. So now Jack Brewer is black presenting. I do want to say that, in case you were wondering. Jack Brewer. Jack Brewer is black presenting. Y'all know what I mean when I say black presenting. And so he has this. He's a Trumper. He's MAGA. He's all of that. He's in the vein of a Candace Owens and all of those, and Herschel Walker, and all of the black presenting people. Okay, so he has this program that he claims is, teaching children, how he's against anything that is anti-Christian rhetoric. So he has to be against CRT. I'm trying to figure out, good morning, little baby. Good morning, Jason. How CRT preaches anti-Christian. Because even if I go with what y'all claim to be CRT, which really isn't CRT, but if I go with what you all claim and profess and are throwing out there to be CRT, that don't have nothing to do with Christian fundamentals or anything. It has everything to do with telling the story behind what America is and the history of what this country is. Doesn't go into the whole anti-Christian thing. So where does this fit in? See, we just gonna throw anything at the wall. We just gonna throw any and everything at the wall and just throw all types of rhetoric and just gaslight everybody. Just throw raw meat at the rabid dogs. Just all types of raw meat at the rabid dogs. Okay, all types of pasta we're gonna throw against the wall to get as much to stick as we can. Here's the here's the paradox in all of this. These CRT people and stop woke people and everything are hell bent on saying children shouldn't be involved in these adult topics, and they're too young for all of this. But they ain't too young to be used as props. Because let's call them what they are, props, for some political game that Republicans and Ron death sentence DeSantis wants to do. Because if they were not props, Ron DeSantis would clearly just sign this bill in his own office by himself, or sign this bill with the racist ass Republican politicians that he cloaked, he wraps himself around with from the Florida legislature. Why does there have to be children there? Why? Because they are props. And for this aunt, that is, I'm right there with Joy Reid. It is borderline child abuse, because here you are, because you're telling, oh, how do you know that they don't have a mind of their own, that they didn't, it's basically like she said, how do you know that they don't want to be there? You really want me to believe that this 9-year old young man, who I don't doubt is probably phenomenally gifted and intelligent, who may very well be phenomenally gifted and intelligent, but you want to tell me that this 9-year-old boy is prepared to go and to give me all of the reasoning behind why he thinks it's okay for Governor Death Sentence to be signing a bill that obviates the history of his ancestors who came here. You're going to tell me that? I fully expect this lawsuit to go nowhere. But this is from the Trump, blueprint, because Trump does this all of the time. Trump, somebody says something or does something against Trump, and he'll have his team of lawyers um, file papers in court and sue them. Okay, and then that person who may or may not be in a financial place to go to court to defend themselves backs down and says, "I ain't going to court. No, I don't. I don't have no. I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't need that smoke." And then that person just goes quiet and goes away. Whereas some people say, "Yeah, I got time, Trump. I have time. You want to go to court? Okay, let's do it." Because most of those cases that he goes to court with, either one never sees adjudication because the person that he's suing is afraid to go against this army of lawyers, or two, gets thrown out of court because it's frivolous lawsuits. And they know it. Their whole tactic is a scare tactic to scare people away and to scare them to be quiet. A mess. Thank you, Tracy. If you give a 9-year-old the choice to skip school, what do you think they're going to do? Oh, I get to miss school and hold up a sign. All I got to do is hold up a sign. Okay, no problem. None at all. Just a mess. Just a damn mess. A mess. Anyway, moving on. I ain't gonna be here long. I told you we ain't gonna be here long. That's a whole mess. Y'all know my last story is gonna deal with the Roe v. Wade. I got some updates on that. I got some real updates on that. Y'all wait till I get to this Roe v. Wade part and I damn near lose my goddamn mind. So, this is for Really B, who might still be on her way to ride to work. So, I'm going to put this story out there for Really because I know she loves this woman. And so, I'm just going to do this for Really because she loves this woman. Cardi B is in the news. This is Really B's girl. So, I'm going to just enjoy this story. Cardi B says she feels like a quote prisoner of fame after facing backlash over joke about drugs at after party. According to the Jasmine brand, Cardi B started her career off as an internet celebrity by reaching popularity via social media for always speaking her mind. And now the 29-year-old rapper is still making her rounds across the internet for her sense of humor. On Tuesday, Cardi B, real name Belcalis Almansar, took to Instagram Live to say she's entirely over being on the scene as a celebrity. In the IG Live video, she vents about the backlash she received after jokingly doing a snorting gesture while giving a toast at Playboy's Met Gala after party. She said, quote, "This is why I don't like doing award shows. This is why I don't like doing interviews anymore. I can't even host anymore," end quote. Cardi B sounded off to her 100 millions of followers that she's always criticized for what she says despite other celebrities using the same level of playfulness. The New York native also noted that if she was to make another appearance, her preference would be at a hood strip club. She explains, "Hey, Amber, quote, why can't a nigga like Steve Harvey go on his show and make all these types of jokes and it's funny, this and that? I make one joke as a hostess because I'm hosting a party and it just gets twisted. Why can't every celebrity joke about joke around and say slick shit and say fuck shit, end quote. And then there's the video. Here's the thing, Cardi B. Nobody cares about the tears of a clown when there's no one around. No one cares about the tears of a clown when there's no one around. Hey, boo, you asked for this. You asked for this. You wanted any, and see, back in the day when you were a hood chick, according to you, and nobody knew who Cardi B was, you dreamed and prayed for the day when all of the lights and cameras were on you. You looked at people who were there, wanting so very bad to be them, wanting so earnestly to be in the limelight, never knowing and thinking what that meant. See, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. See, this is someone who gets to a certain level that lacks the intellectual fortitude and wherewithal to handle where she is. This is someone, and go, oblige me for a few moments. This is a young lady, okay? This is a young lady who, for all of the people who tout her being oh so intelligent, she's just a smart person. She's a smart. There are some lapses in intellectual fortitude there. You can't very well go on social media and everything about you on social media says, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And when we look at you and we see you doing imbecilic things and we see you doing things that you know and we know are just way out there, you can't get surprised when people are dragging you. You can't be surprised. Now, what a smart person does, see, here's what a smart person does. Here's somebody who has the intellectual wherewithal and fortitude for this does. You know what that's it? They say, I'm gonna do what I do, and I ain't gonna give a shit who has anything to say about it. I'm not even reading the comments. I'm not even reading the blogs. I make the news. So since I set trends and I make the news, you know what I'm gonna do? Continue to set trends, continue to make the news, and be unapologetic about it. If y'all gonna watch me anyway, if I've been begging for y'all to watch me over and over and over, if I've been dreaming about this, what the hell am I complaining about? Because you can't very well think that there's not a negative side to fame. Any and everything in this world has good to it and bad. It has pros and cons. And you were stupid enough to think, oh, when and if I become a millionaire, and when and if I become famous, all of my problems will be solved. I'm not going to have any issues. I'm not going to have any problems. There's going to be no cons. Like, that's just not smart thinking. And if you think that any of us have any sympathy for you when you come out here telling us that I feel like a prison, what is she saying? Let me get this quote right. That you quote, feel like a prisoner of fame. This is what you wanted. You know what it's like? It's like a person who says, all I want to do is eat candy. I just want candy. I want to eat candy. I want to eat candy. I don't want to eat no fruits and no vegetables. Just give me candy. I don't like how that other stuff tastes. All I want is candy. Candy, 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 candy. Sweets and candy, sweets and candy. And then when you get a cavity and a toothache, or you have other health problems. Now you're saying, oh, why is my tooth hurting? Oh, why do I have problems with my health? Because you decided you wanted to eat candy all of the time and you thought that it wasn't going to be no consequences to you eating candy. Yeah, it tastes good in the moment. Yeah, it is soothing to the mouth and to the palate. But baby, there are still consequences that come with eating the candy. And in the same vein, sure, you want everybody to look at you. You want everybody to um follow you, everybody to go toward your trends, and then you don't think there's going to be consequences. Go sit down somewhere, Cardi B, and find you something to do. Cardi, no one cares about the tears of a clown when there's no one around. Sit your ass the fuck down somewhere and go somewhere. We do not feel bad for you. We don't. You're a prisoner. Get over it. Hell, I just read a story about Oprah Winfrey, who's a billionaire with a B, who said she stayed in her house 322 days without leaving because she was afraid of COVID. But still, these are the things that happen. Anyway, I don't care about you, Cardi. Get over it. Because you making gestures of doing coke and stuff like that, and you think nobody's gonna have nothing to say about that. Like you have to be mental to think that some of the things that you do, Cardi, is going to result in backlash or people having something to say. Like you literally have to be mental. Moving on, the tears of a goddamn clown. In other news, as we get closer, I got one more story before we get to the. Yeah, she can go and play in traffic, Tracy. Thank you. Hey, Yana. So, in other news, as we get closer to women's news with Roe v. Wade, I got a gem of a story, an update to that y'all need to hear in just a few moments. According to the Jasmine brand as well, comedian B. Simone reveals she experienced her first orgasm ever in life last month. I don't, I don't know what to do and say about that. Ladies, what y'all want to do with that? On Monday evening, B. Simone, who is 32 years old, took to Twitter to share with fans an interesting fun fact and update on her current sexual behavior after being celibate for 10 months. In the tweet, B. Simone weighs in on her first experience having an orgasm for her nearly quarter million followers. She tweeted, fun fact, I had my first orgasm ever in life last month. I've been celibate for 10 months. What does that tell you? Let me continue reading. After meeting with an intimacy coordinator and sex educator, B. Simone, real name Braylon Simone, reflects on what she was taught about the woman's body. She continued, I met this lady. She's an intimacy coordinator and sex educator. She's taught me so much, and it's so cool to learn things that we just don't learn. We just start having sex not knowing simple shit. I mean, having I'm hella late having an orgasm. And I'm sorry, I'm not talking about that, but other stuff. I, I, I don't need to read anymore. I don't need to read anymore. I don't. Ladies, I mean, you don't have no moments to yourself. Be someone when you go and masturbate or something. Like you don't take care of yourself. You too old for this. You are 32 years old. Like, girl, you too. This is 2022, not 1922. Women are very well versed on their body and how their body works. And so to tell me that in the year of our Lord 2022, and you are a 32-year-old woman, you are just learning about your body. Girl, what you been doing this time all this time? Girl, do you know they have every kind of sex toy imaginable for man, woman, cat, dog, non-binary, non-gender conforming. They have intersex and all. They got toys for any and everything and everybody to have all types of organ. Girl, what you been? I ain't gonna even blame the people that she been with. I blame her. The problem is her. Because if you've been with all these people, and at some point you don't stop and say, "Hey boo, it's my turn. Hey boo, you got to do something for me and make me feel good." I'm not doing this with you, Jason. That is my song. Ooh, there goes my shirt up over my head. Oh my. Ooh, I'm turning red. Go look at my feet. Oh my. Ooh. That was that part. Tweet was really slept on. Can I tell y'all how much Tweet was slept on? I loved me some Tweet. Girl. Tweet was a whole vibe. Some of these young kids don't know about Tweet. Tweet, she was a whole vibe back in the day. Tell you what I did last night. Ooh. Y'all know Tweet was a vibe, honey. She's got a Missy Elliott beats rocking. Match made in heaven. I bet she didn't go without no orgasms because, baby, Missy Elliott made sure Tweet had as many orgasms as she needed, allegedly. I don't know Jay Thomas. I have no idea Jay Thomas. But what I do know is, child, here's one of the funny things. She goes on this rant, like this series of tweets telling men, y'all can't find the clitoris. Y'all don't know nothing about the female body. Y'all need to learn. Da, da, da. No, boo, you don't know nothing about the clitoris. You don't know nothing about the female body. What's so funny. Mm, tweet. Here's not tweet. Here's the funny part. Okay, so in one of this long list of tweets, she says, exactly. I'm sure most people don't know this or what each part does or is for, even me. So stop capping. Y'all, the only thing y'all know about sex is penetration. No, boo, that's you. But what Twitter is so undefeated. Somebody replied to her tweet, and there's a whole diagram of the female genitalia. And he says, y'all welcome. Happy studying. P.S. Most people don't know. Take some solo classes or as couples. Take some solo classes or as couples and level up. You got a whole picture of the female vagina where it lists all of the parts. It's a whole diagram. Like, it's so stupid. Ladies, are y'all going? I mean, do we have any ladies in the audience that has never experienced an orgasm? If you're willing, ladies, not only if you're willing, how old were you when you had your first orgasm? I just inquiring minds want to know because I'm pretty sure you weren't 32 years old. But inquiring minds I just want to know just for scientific reason. You ain't got to tell me if you don't want. Put it in the chat though. I'm just saying. You ain't got to tell me if you don't want. 32. Yeah. I mean, you ain't played pound down there. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm just saying. All right. 30 plus years with no orgasm. What was she doing? Child. That's why I say I can't even blame the men she's been with. I blame her. You just at 30 plus years old learning about your own body. Girl, what you been doing? Hey, T Lounge. So here's our story where we talk about I was 19 when my eyes rolled to the back of my head and I had a conversation with Jesus and slept inside. Oh, I'm not doing this with you this early in the morning, Tracy. She said she had a conversation with Jesus and the disciples. Dear God. Oh, dear God. So I know it's late. I got to get up off here and go do my job. Anyway, but I got to get to this story. This is our feature presentation today, okay? Here's this story that came out yesterday. It came out yesterday, okay? Amidst all of the fanfare and alarms blaring about Roe v. Wade, right? Top House Democrats under fresh fire for backing anti-choice killer. In the wake of the bombshell leak of a United States Supreme Court draft opinion likely signifying the reversal of Roe v. Wade, progressives on Tuesday blasted three ranking House Democrats for voicing support for reproductive rights while continuing to back anti-choice Representative Henry Cooler, Henry Cooler's bid for re-election in Texas. Oh yes. Oh, yes. Here we go. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Majority Leader Steny Hoyer, and Majority Whip James Clyburn all expressed alarm over the prospect that the landmark 49-year-old Supreme Court ruling guaranteeing the right to abortion will be overturned, while affirming their support for reproductive rights. However, critics took all three Democratic leaders to task for their endorsement of Kuehler, the House Democrat with the strongest anti-choice record. A day after his office and home were raided by FBI agents in January as part of a federal probe relating to the country of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. I don't know. I know I messed up that pronunciation. Kuehler remotely addressed the Democrats for Life annual March for Life breakfast in Washington, D.C., and was awarded the group's Legislator of the Year award, quote, for his defense of life from womb to tomb. Hey, Monk Boo. Varshini Prakash, executive director of the Youth-led Sunrise Movement, lamented that Pelosi, Hoyer, and Clyburn, quote, have no problem campaigning for their friend Kuehler. Quote, Clyburn is literally traveling to San Antonio for a fundraiser and rally with Kuehler tomorrow. It's shameful. Our leaders on reproductive rights are actively looking the other way as Jessica Cisneros, an inspiring young Latina, is fighting for our right to choose and their values. Cisneros, a progressive immigration attorney, is seeking to unseat Kuehler in a May 24th Democratic primary runoff. On Tuesday, she tweeted that Kuehler was the only House Democrat, quote, to vote with Republicans against codifying Roe, end quote, via the Women's Health Protective Act, which was approved by the House last September but failed to pass in the Senate after right wing West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin joined GOP lawmakers in a filibuster. In contrast to Pelosi and others, more progressive Democrats like Senators Elizabeth Warren took to social media on Tuesday to elevate their support for Cisneros. Right away, quote, right away, young people need to know Democrats are fighting for them, end quote, said Prakash, who asserted that if Pelosi, Hoyer, and Clyburn really want to lead in this moment, they must unendorse Representative Henry Kuehler and back Jessica Cisneros for Texas District 28. Here's the fuck shit that's going on. That's the article. Here's the fuck shit that's going on. Hold on, because I'm going to try to not lose my goddamn mind this morning. Representative Henry Kuehler, who's a Democrat out of the state of Texas, or in the San Antonio area, okay, is pro-life. I mean, pro-life, very anti-pro-choice. Hey, Tanya, he was given an award. I just read to you from what's the name of the group? What's the name of the group? Oh, Democrats for Life at their annual March for Life breakfast. He is the only Democrat. Remember yesterday I told you all that the House has already passed a bill and sent it to the Senate that would codify Roe v. Wade, meaning even if the Supreme Court um, rules it unconstitutional, it would still be codified by law by the the legislature. That bill passed the House. There was one Democrat that decided to vote against it and vote with the Republicans because he's not for women having their rights. Henry Kuehler. Now, Henry Kuehler is right now facing a primary on May 24th. And guess who is backing him? The same fucktards that I told y'all that are keeping the Democratic Party behind and is going to be the reason we have a whole fucking bloodbath in September. Pelosi, Hoyer, Clyburn, the three ranking members of the House, Democratic members of the House, they are supporting Henry Kuehler. You had Clyburn, who's there in San Antonio today at a rally for Kuehler, right after we learned that they're going to do away with Roe v. Wade. And you're supporting this man who told you he wants no parts of Roe v. Wade and voted against a House bill that will codify Roe v. Wade. But in the next breath, Clyburn, you're going to tell me that you are, oh, this is a sad day. You and Nancy Pelosi and them. And you have a woman, you have a beautiful Latina woman in the form of Jessica Cisneros who is running in that primary, but they don't like her because she's too progressive for her. And we're not here for any progressive politics around the Democratic Party. So instead of backing Jessica Cisneros, who is pro-choice, who is for getting rid of the filibuster, who is running on a progressive slate, instead of backing her, they back Henry Kuehler, who is on record saying, I want no parts of Roe v. Wade. Tell me how that makes sense, Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, Jim Clyburn. And as an update from last week, they were successful. Ohio primary yesterday, Shontel Brown wins the primary. Nina Turner lost. They were successful. I would venture to guess they're probably going to be successful here with Henry Kuehler. But then they're going to wonder why they don't have the votes to do certain things to get rid of the filibuster, why you don't have votes to pass Build Back Better, why you don't have votes to do things, because you go around supporting people who align themselves with Republican principles. See, this is the idiocy of the Democratic Party. This is the lunacy and insanity of the Democratic Party. You wonder why Roe v. Wade is crashing and burning? Because you apparently don't give a shit about Roe v. Wade. Nancy Pelosi, Steny Hoyer, and Jim Clyburn. You're supporting people who are anti-Roe v. Wade. You're backing candidates like Chantel Brown, who is being supported by the Republican Party and Republican campaign donors for a reason. You do things, nefarious things, like having an India Walton in the great city of Syracuse, New York, who won the primary outright, but instead of supporting the Democratic candidate who the people in the city of Syracuse supported to be their Democratic representative, you decided that it was a good fucking idea to put a write-in candidate in there because you want no parts of anybody that has progressive thinking. You would rather have someone who has this centrist ideology, Republican ideologies, not knowing that the populace and the electorate in the Democratic Party is moving more progressive. They're not moving more toward the center. They're moving more progressive. But you fucktards, it's so baffling that y'all were screaming from the rooftops, oh no, Roe v. Wade, we have to protect Roe v. Wade with every fiber of our soul. Oh my God, Roe v. Wade is going down. But yet today, ranking members of the Democratic Party in the form of Jim Clyburn are, are campaigning for Henry Cuellar, who's a Democrat that voted against codifying Roe v. Wade and has told you he wants no parts of Roe v. Wade and is campaigning on a pro-life campaign. And y'all are over there supporting him and funneling hundreds of thousands of dollars into his campaign. Make the shit make sense. All the while, you decide you're not going to support this Latina woman in the form of Jessica Cisneros, who y'all don't like because she has progressive ideologies, or what we would call 21st century democratic ideologies. Because let's be clear, these members of the Democratic brass, they are all about 20th century democratic principles. Hey boo, this ain't 1995 no more. This is 2022. And y'all are over here with the Jim Clyburns of the world and Nancy Pelosi, who are 30 years past their prime. You would think, you know what this is going to be like? Because let's be clear, a smart political strategist would use what happened yesterday and now be all over the country, rallying everybody from sea to shining sea behind the fact that we have to support and protect women's rights and Roe v. Wade, and screaming from the rooftops what this could mean for all types of other laws. But instead of doing that, these dumb ass fucktards are going to fumble the ball on the 1 yard line. And we're going to continue to have a bloodbath. You were gifted, you were handed a gift in your hand over the last 48 hours, Democratic Party. You were given a gift, something that could help you change the political sphere, move the needle, get y'all to not lose as many seats as you may have lost. And if you were smart enough, could have gained you some seats. But no, you're going to do stupid ass shit like this, like support the Chantel Browns of the world, like support the Henry Cuellars of the world, and go against what the general populace wants. And then you're going to lose seats. And it's going to be a bloodbath. And if you think Roe v. Wade is the end, oh, it's going to be that's the end of it all. If y'all think I'm making this up, go look it up. Henry Cuellar. His last name is Cuellar, representative out of the San Antonio area. Very much pro-life. Very much the only Democrat that voted with Republicans not to codify Roe v. Wade. Hmm. But you got Jim Clyburn and Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer over there supporting. This is the fuck shit that I'm talking about. What do y'all want from me? What do y'all want from me? I just come here and report to y'all what we see, what's going on. You ain't gonna hear this type of shit on the MSNBCs of the world. You ain't gonna hear this type of shit. See, they're gonna continue to be saying all of this shit. They're gonna be screaming about Susan Collins and how she's the problem, negating or just completely ignoring the problems within the Democratic Party. They're going to be all over Susan Collins, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, but y'all ain't all over Jim Clyburn and Nancy Pelosi, who I have no idea what is going on with that. Hey, Trouble Woman, I'm sure somebody will take care of you. I'm not worried, Trouble Woman. If you want, my hands are here, Trouble Woman. When the people do to you what they're going to do to you, my hands will be here. I did not block you into oblivion for what my mods did, and I can't be held responsible that you came over here, wanted smoke, and my mods had smoke for you. I can't be held responsible for that. Nope. Thank you, mods, in advance for taking care of Trouble Woman because she wanted trouble and she got what she was looking for, I'm sure. Let me go and check and see which mod took care of her. Well, little baby said, "Yeah, we're not having that." Thank you, little baby. Little baby. Yeah, Trouble Woman had to meet the right list, and little baby said, "We won't be having any of this morning." Yeah, here for it. I know you wanted trouble, so you got the trouble you were looking for. I'm about to get up off here, y'all. I've been on here over an hour. I ain't even supposed to be on here this long. I'm about to get up off here anyway. I just wanted to come before y'all and let y'all go look. I really want y'all to go and read up on Jessica Cisneros versus Henry Cuellar. His last name is Cuellar. I need you to go look at that because that is the type of issue and problem that we have going on. Okay, that's why we have a problem. That is why we are here because the other side is calculated, intentional, deliberate. They have a plan and they execute their plan. The Democrats are fucking around and fumbling the ball on the 1 yard line, shitting themselves. Fuckery. Anyway, I hope you had a good time while you were here, Trouble Woman. I hope you had a great time. We enjoyed having you while you were here. Anyway, I'm about to get up off here, y'all. I got too much to do. Anyway, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged. They're much appreciated. I'm enjoying this early morning with y'all. I've been having a good time with this. On your way to work, early morning drive. You know, time where we can, get some stories out of the way and let you all go and read about it later. Anyway, we might be back tomorrow, y'all. We might come back tomorrow around this time. I don't know. But we might just do it tomorrow. Let's try to do it again tomorrow morning. See if we can make this happen. At least you're getting more of me. See, told y'all I will give y'all more of me. Anyway, I'm about to get off here, y'all. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. We are out here.